You know, let me share with you, David, what made it easier this time as any other time. Because we are also kind of slaves of the technology. And if I was programming everything, just making demos, this guy gonna play, and it's the vision, and this goes there, and this goes there, that it was much less different influences are coming across, because it was more strictly pre-programmed in a way.
Was it
But now,
because you went analog? Is that why? Or
yeah, because I went pencil, and totally analog.
Mhm.
So, and all of a sudden I could say, Richard, would you play Here the Fretless, please? And why don't you just sing along with this line? And all of a sudden, something, unfolds in a beautiful way. And I play a little percussion to that, and all of a sudden there's another picture. The clarinet comes in there, and tasteful Hammond pad is coming in, and and it's supposed to a reinvention of playing in a way that we're looking at each other. So that like the last tune. I mean, you cannot jam without seeing you.
Well,
this
and
is
and plus you only got one take.
yeah. This is absolutely the point, and especially because uh, everybody said, how much does a tape cost these times? Because I mean, back then,
Yeah.
as we're recording analog, it was expensive enough but now it's a fortune. So everybody said, Leslie, I mean, we played this once, okay, and you believe or not, everything is once. I mean, we don't have outtakes. We just don't have any outtakes. It's just played like that. So
I've got a selfish question that it kind of backs us up a little bit before this, quite a bit before this. Having fled to safety in that very country, what did it feel like for you to be representing Germany at Eurovision '79? I mean, I'm making an assumption, but that just seems kind of remarkable to me, and I wanted to ask you about that.
it was crazy, especially to do that in Israel. You are a Hungarian refugee. At the front of your hotel is the Hungarian bookshop in Tel Aviv. And then you move over to Jerusalem, and it is at the front of your hotel is the goulash corner, the Hungarian restaurant. You go down the street and Tel Aviv, and all of a sudden you hear Hungarians. And the lady who was was the responsible for artist care for the TV thing during the rehearsals and the camera rehearsals. She said, yeah, well, I told to my grandfather that I have a Hungarian refugee here as Germany's representative. Then he said, how come? Oh, this could happen, And then the lady is telling me, a young lady, she was a girl, and she's telling us a student then, and she's told me that it was very, very, very moving story that her grandfather was a Hungarian Jewish refugee. And he was sitting in a Knesset, in the Israeli parliament. And because at the very beginning, after the Shoah, after the Second World War, no one was speaking Hebrew. So everybody had his so-called Yiddish or different languages where the original country, but no one, from the elderly people, they were not speaking Hebrew. And they, of course, they were heavy discussions about the future, how to build a country from zero, from the scratch. And he said, you know how it was in the Knesset? If we really got angry with each other to discussing the best way, to explore the best way, then we were yelling to each other Hungarian. You know, that was so funny. So being the German representative, you know, in Israel, and immediately I was the Hungarian guy. So for the first to the last momentum, you know. So everybody came up in a very lovely way, in a very kind way, and very gentle way. So it was funny because as we came home to Germany, and if I was just trying to tell that I don't have a Hungarian passport, and I was not for years in Hungary. And if I would go, then that would be immediately in jail. You know, and so it was an interesting, it was. My kids were asking me another day the same question. I said, "Oh, how was that?" Because I was not telling to my kids that I was a pop star, so they were not knowing this for a while. I was not hiding it, but you know, but it was an interesting thing. So I was just, but then you know later on as we were in Brazil and Japan and then all these places, was funny, but I didn't really like it. So that was not me. So I'm a prog rock guy.
Being a prog rock guy and just kind of to bring everything full circle, given all that you've been through in your life and then looking out at the world as it is today, is there any message you'd like to be able to convey to people at this moment in our history?
Yes. Try to listen to our music with the understanding, with the feeling that we have created this album as a compass out of the labyrinth of crisis. To taking the responsibility as a musician, because your love of music propelled our creativity. You were sending us to a sunny side of life with your love of music, and now it's time to give back. You know, it's payback time. We are here for you in this trying, crazy times we are going through, because we are in this great division, the great divide. And so we take it very seriously that music is the greatest unifier. And let's learn again that if someone is representing something totally different view about anything, it's not your enemy. It's just the guy who thinks differently than you do. And so let's go back to that understanding of the 70s. And one more thing, there is psychopedia. So this get off social media for a moment, take a breath, and have a listen to 80 minutes of music. In a way, it's created because it was created for you, and in a way that we assembled the music not from tracks to track, but as a holistic aspect. You know, like you don't take from a book a page, and you don't take from a painting just a square inch. Take it as it is, and give you a chance to listen to your album, which is fresh, which is new, and is dealing with tomorrow, a memory of our future, but it's a handwritten love letter and not a text message.
Well, that's all very, very good advice. And then I'm going to do the exact opposite for 1 second. And I'm going to ask you what's next for the Mandoki Soulmates, and do the exact opposite and actually ask our audience where they can follow you on those social media platforms so they can listen to your album and so they can find you and see what you're doing.
All right, so it's very simple. Mandoki, because I'm a Hungarian, so it's very some Mandoki, and then Soulmates, and Soulmates obvious. And when you then nail into Mandoki Soulmates, you find us everywhere, all on your digital services. So you go to Spotify or Apple, whatever you use, Amazon. And of course, if you really want to have some fun, then you go on Amazon and you order a vinyl or a CD because you get a big book, and even if you're listening on digital devices. But if you had this big book and you have this feeling of opening up and CD or the vinyl, I really made a lot of efforts to produce for you a great book, to the vinyl and to the CD. So it makes a lot of sense to get it physical. But of course, I really mixed the whole album. It was a very simple mix because no post-production. Everybody was saying, how was it? I said, no post-production at all. I mean, just, opening the faders.
It's raw. It's tactile. That's the thing. You want something and that's the great thing about vinyl. You do something recorded on, I mean, if you can record it analog, you got to listen to it on vinyl.
Yeah. So that's why if you have a device at home, so please just buy yourself a vinyl, because this is great. I mean, this takes you back to a audio vision, the sonic I mean, this is just fantastic. It's just I mean, we had it's called the high end, it's audio fair, at worldwide biggest in Munich. And they were taking it as the reference vinyl for this year, so you could hear it everywhere.
Well, Leslie, thank you so much for joining us today and sharing so much with us. I mean, it's just the stories, and in addition to the music, just incredible.
Thank you so much, David, for having me, and thank you for giving us the chance and the opportunity. It's a great privilege, a great honor, and the next step of Soulmates is for sure with America, because we are around 31 years and it's our first release in America. So something went wrong in this recording industry. So we gotta come over, and we play many concerts in Europe. So it's time to play in America.
That would be fantastic. And I think there's so many people, especially a lot of prog rock fans,
absolutely,
who would seek that out. Just thank you so much for joining us, ladies and gentlemen. Leslie Mandoki.
Thank you.